Hello guys, today I want to talk about a couple setups in about over 30 stocks, including some 2T ETFs. Market vision, I said this before in my tweet. You were looking at the SPY. I was watching it when it broke actually in here, and then we were weak next day, and then after that we kind of closed red on the week. So for me that was kind of weak. Looking at Nasdaq, it was the same thing. I'm gonna watch it to see that resistance, if we're gonna hold or if we're gonna bounce over that 65 EMA. First stock I want to talk about is Band. I'm watching this, like, you gotta call it cup and handle or VCP pattern. You can see the idea here. Stock had a run from the breakout back here at 89 all the way at 195, and now we're making higher lows. You get the idea. I'm watching for the stock to move sideways in here. Might initiate a position probably if it goes sideways here. We have earnings coming next month, a couple of weeks from now, 2 or 3 weeks. That's the first one. Next one is JKS. I actually did initiate a position back here. I saw it weakening over here and I got out. Good stock to watch. We'll still have earnings way ahead of us. I'm watching this trend line. I'm watching if it gets back above here. It started consolidating for like a day or two before it pops again. Stocks relatively strong to what happened in the market. One of them is including FTCH, bouncing right over that 65. I said this before in my previous video to watch. One of my favorite things to do is to watch when market corrects stocks that actually held strong. This is one of them. Square, next one, bouncing again over that 65 is another one to watch. I'm thinking here Square, since the breakout in this base, small tiny base here, we actually had a great run, and now I think Square is making a base. So as you can see it here, I will watch it and I will wait for it to set up. I'm not gonna rush it, even though I do like it actually when stocks bounce over that 65 moving average. One of them I think I mentioned last time was EUI. You can see a great entrance right on that day when it popped, and it just went straight up. Actually didn't have any position on it, but just as you see, like when stocks sometimes bounce over here, sometimes even they will take that previous low and they will flush quite a lot of people. So what I mean by that is flushing. Actually this one did not happen, but which one of them was Deva. Let's go with Deva. We actually bounced. We bounced over. What I was watching is that low in here. We kind of went a little bit, kind of flushed a little bit below it. Look how that stock held on that 65. I did initiate a position right on this lows in here, and then we went straight up right from there. Great trade. Deva. Another one I'm watching is DayGX. Again, when the stock is going red on all indexes, this one did not. It hit its ground and it tried to pop right in here. I'm watching it to break out. You looking at it on the weekly. You can see that VCP pattern right in here. Again, something to watch, but you got earnings coming up. GX. Another one is NUS. Earnings coming up again on February. Sometimes I don't like when stocks really had previous highs in here. I don't like that, because for me it's kind of like a struggle with every time it goes up. Always we have to look at previous resistance, but I'm watching it here as the stock breakout over here and over this shelf. It came back, retested, now it's still holding. I like that green candle. This right here could be like a cheat entry, and then a breakout would be another one if you want to. That's NUS. Ride, another one I'm watching. A chart will talk to you. I drawn a resistance here. I have a point here, second time trying to pop, third time trying to pop, fourth time trying to pop, and then fifth time trying to pop. So here in this area, you can say almost right in here. So you have both areas here, not only one price. But if we started close above these highs that I'm watching, 2870, if we started making close right in here, I think that would be a great entry point. That's Ride. Another one is WST. WST did not get hit while the market was getting hit. You can see a base here. It's easy to see when I draw it, and then you can use that one or use that, whatever makes sense. For me, I just see a pop on volume and then going sideways, hitting that 21 and push it right back up. I want to see it close, but here this will be like a cheat point. The stop will be right below there. Another one that held strong when the market was correcting. WST. The TMO was the next one. I like the flag here. I like the fact that stock did show strength. We pushed lower and immediately claim it back, and there is a gap. So I want to see it starting to close above here to show me like as a confirmation. Stock has an earning on Monday. Watch that. Next one that I saw was NIO. Actually, it was holding instead of selling off. That's type of kind of strength. That's for me, that's strength. When stock's not selling, when the market is selling off, that's strength. People are not willing to sell in their stock yet, so they're thinking that stock could still advance more higher. I want to see it break above the higher, that red candle 64.50, if I want to as a confirmation for the stocks to move higher. Another one is pins, just base in here, not doing anything crazy, bouncing over the 65 and just going sideways. Nothing special, I'm just watching it. INMD, this one of the clean charts. You have a base here, making higher lows. You have a breakout, resistance became support. Same thing in here. You could enter right in here, moving sideways. Now again we're pushing sideways. Nothing wrong with the stock. I liked it. We have earnings coming up. Watch that. NEP, Nextra Energy, quiet stocks, huge volume right on this breakout. And what I'm watching, a better pattern or better entry. I just don't like to get in here. I like to get in on a pullback, but not this way. So I will just pass it, but I will keep it on my watch list. All right, another one to watch is KBH. Sorry, we have a long resistance in here. I'm gonna pull on the monthly so you can see it better. We have a breakout on the monthly. That says a lot. Breakout on the monthly and then breakout on the weekly. So the breakout on the monthly will tell you, it will give you much more confirmation than the weekly, and so on from the weekly will give you to the daily. Huge volume comes in, and it looks like we're gonna retest. I will try to see if it's gonna catch up, the 21 to catch up with the price, and then bounce from there. But I'm watching it. Let's look at it on the weekly. Beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised if the stocks even held. Sometimes if they want to held, they will take probably like 6 to 5 weeks, sometimes even less if they're strong enough, and they will pop even higher. Something to watch. Ones that I actually am looking at as a power play stocks is which one? It was Ango. So these one are not. They could be from $10 to 20, but I'm just watching them for a quick play. I like how the flag in here, a break above these highs in here. If I put this on the hourly, you can see it hitting that line multiple times. Next one was VSTO. Earnings coming up. I like the flag in here once it start breaking out here. Beautiful setup, clean. Another one that pulls my attention, but it has earning coming up soon, is a new IPO, Max. Beautiful setup. I think this is even actionable right in here with a tight stop, but it has earnings coming up, so keep that in mind. TME, beautiful startup again. I missed it right in here. I'll see how it acts on the 8th. I would like to see the stock starting to pop a little bit more high with volume and starting to close right on these areas right in here. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I'll push it to the hourly, and I'll decide my entry point, hourly or 30-minute. I don't like to look at the 15 minutes. Another one is KC, Kingsoft Cloud. Beautiful base, pop. Stock still holding the 21, trying to broke a couple times, like here and all this time in here too, and it's still held. Huge pop up. I would like to see the stock starting to close right above these highs in here of 51. So I would like to see 52 close. You can initiate a position, put a stop loss right below these lows right in here. Keep that in mind. KC, JP. Yeah, I think the earnings are coming up. Beautiful cup and a handle. I didn't like what it do this. Usually I like them when they hold their 21, not to violate it. That's a key strength for me when I watch stocks. When they start to break into 21 for like a day and then goes back green and then comes back again twice, started closing below the 21, I don't like that. Gato. I like the action here, but I'm watching this price. When it's too cloudy for me like that, I'll put it on the hourly, and I'll see what's happening. We have that trend line, so we have basically that area. So if I take that off, it's basically right here. That's what I'm watching. Earnings coming up. This is GATO. Even though it did kind of close not strong enough but weak, so you call it gap and crap right in here. I didn't like that. So if the stock comes back, build some energy right below that area and pop, that will be a good entry point. For me, again, that's only me. GAN, I like the stock that's still holding. It's 21, so I'm watching that area right in here. 25.50. Once we start closing above here, will be actionable. Once you do that, I would watch the high in here to take some profit, because we can have some resistance and stock can pull back. So I always keep that in mind. I always watch what's on my left side. Another one is APHA. I didn't like that action the last 2 days, but I will still watch it. Long base, huge volume coming up, so I would like to see a close, at least eliminate that candle in here. If I see it close above the high, that 13.13, that'll be something, and then we can see what the stock's going to do from there. You don't want to see the stock start pulling back. It can bounce actually on the 21, but I like to see the I like more feedback from the stock before I do anything. But that, I don't like that, especially with the stocks that are closing below moving averages. I don't like that. That's weak. Home. Sorry about that. Home is another one. Putting it on the weekly. We have resistance to the left, so I would watch it. Your next resistance will be right at that breakdown candle at 30.66. Beautiful setup on the weekly. On the daily, it did show some weakness because it did came to that resistance in here to the left. So I kind of touched it, it comes back. That's why I always watch to the left. So I guess you are too. You're watching that left side. It could pull back. We don't know what could happen, but I'm watching it. If it started close above these highs with these candles, that'll be a good sign. Be a positive sign. Earnings on the 24th March. Argo, another one that I liked. Beautiful setup, beautiful flag, tight action here. Anything above here will be great. Let's put it on hourly. Look at it. Beautiful. Beautiful setup. It's getting tight. It could go down, it could go up. Doesn't matter where we go. We just have to keep an eye on it and see what it goes from there. Another powerful setup. I don't want a stock to close below that candle. Even though it did close up below the 8, but still that's not significant. I have a pivot point for me that's that low right there, that green candle. I don't want it to see it. It could actually bounce over the 21. It will cut the low over that, but I want it to come back here and started to break this little pivot, this little shelf in here. Beautiful setup. That's very ICLK. Price getting tight as we go high, volume starting to dry. I have all the signs that the stock wants to play higher. I would like to see it start getting a little more tighter here, starting to break, and that will be actionable. Another one is FUV. I missed it back actually on that day. It was too late for me. It already popped, so I was gonna get in right on that day. As I say before, if you look back to the stock challenged the high here, pulled back on a low volume down here. You can see the volume actually was confirming it. We popped here on volume, and then we pulled back a little bit low on a low volume, and then bam, right there. For me, that would be, see, this candle took over, eliminate that candle by closing above the high of that candle, 1788. That's 1837. So for me, that could be a low cheat entry before even a breakout. So sometimes when they break out, it's too late. I mean, you're already, not too late, but it doesn't mean that stock won't make even a move, another move higher. It could. From here, what it looks like, it could still make another move higher. Didn't even bother coming back, but I want to still see it getting tight. Yeah, so very ICLK, OSTK, another one. Stock went through all the phases. It pulled back, no man's land, and all this area right in here. I call it no man's land. I'll wait for the stock to set up. From now, it did challenge the high here. It has a gap. What I want to see is the stock either bounce on the 21 or not. And I want to see it start to close or challenge or make some sideways consolidation in here, or even close above the high here. I like the volume here. You just don't want to see the stock goes up and then pull back crap all the way down here. I don't like that. So something to watch. PLTR. Actually, I got into the stock way back here. I tweeted about it, but it did crap and I got out. I just hate them. I do hate them when they just go straight up without me. Who does, right? And let's see. I like the stock to set up more. Let's see how it looks on hourly. Not too bad. It looks like it wants to go down. You have a breakdown. You have almost like a flag. You see it, stocks coming down, and we just going sideways. You can see it here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, A to B, B to C, C to D, bam. Doesn't mean that the stock won't go higher, but I just like to get a green candles and start closing above those high. I like the volume lower on those red volumes. On watch list, YALA, this one again popped real high real quick. Look how it went flagging. Look at that green candle here, and then we would just went sideways for a while building energy, and then boom, next thing you know, it took everything out. Quick, stocks still have more to go. You just want to watch. I like to good risk reward entry before I get into the stock. SIG stock has multiple resistance to the left side, but I like how it's doing here. Once you start closing above the high, that red candle 41, let's say 42, could be actionable. This is the hourly. You can see that resistance line. It could build, it could be here forever, but we just have to watch it. CLB, I like that shelf. I like stocks going sideways, especially when the market is correcting. I love it. Two ETF that I was going to talk about was a BLOK. It was a cannabis. Is it cannabis? It was no, not this one. It was the other one. It's actually YOLO. I like that beautiful break of that downtrend. Look at it, what it did. You can see gap and crap. I don't like that. So even though it looks green here, but you can see that it went up to the 40s, but it closed to the low, so that's weakness. Anything that takes out here probably might challenge the high in here. Something just to watch. So yeah, it could be based in here for a while too, because we had a move from 27 to 41, almost quite a bit. So next one was, I think YOLO was a cannabis. Yeah, it was a cannabis ETF. I like that. Any pullback or a bounce with a hammer or a engulfing candle, that'll be great over these highs. Not all of them, but we'll see. Just the volume, like at here. Look at the pullback on the volume. Yeah, so every time we go up, you have to watch those resistance line. Yeah, so that actually is last time I was talking to somebody about moving averages that I'm using, the 65. So the way I will explain is, let's take the 8, and I was gonna explain it DXCM. If you watch the stock here was trending respecting the 65 moving average, but once actually we did broke out the 65, it was actually on volume, right? So basically the 65 was acting here as a support, right? It was acting as a support. Once we broke it down, it stayed below it. So sometimes the stock, I will give it a couple days to see how it behaves. That's what I said before I take any action, either buy or sell. But look how the stock actually did stayed below the 65. That's a negative sign. We're trying to go above the 65, break it, and got rejected first time, second time, and then third time was huge. That's, for me, that's weakness right there. This is not a good sign. And then from there, it will act. That 65 now, it was acting as support. Now it's going to be acting. It's going to act as a resistance. If I pull the chart a little bit to the side, well, let's see. It's still fighting. It wants to act here. So look how we trying to break it. we did actually, but look how that candle, how it did act. It wants to act as a support, but there's like fighting. There's no price agreement in here. So I wouldn't jump the gun in here, but this is like the stock actually will be much better once the 65 will act as a support instead of resistance. Another example will be Zoom. Look, once we broke the 65 here, tried to break it. We did actually break, well, we got rejected hard, and from there we stayed right below the red line, which is the 65 moving average. Now what I would watch here was I got to initiate a position, small position right in here, and I got out when it took the low of that reversal candle, but immediately reversed back without even filling a gap here. For me, that's a sign of a strength. I didn't get back in, but I was just watching it. Now you gotta watch how that 65 is gonna act as, you want it to act as a resistance. So you want it to jump it and stay right above it. Now it's still acting. It didn't get over it. It didn't close above it and stay above it. Now it's still acting as a resistance. Another one that I talked about was eBay. eBay, I talked about in one of my videos when the stock actually was making lows. We had a low here, lower low, and the lower low, and then you watch how the stock, every time you're trying to go above that 65, it gets rejected. Here it got rejected. Look over here how the stock got, that 65 was acting as a resistance, but once we broke it, now we came back, you think, oh, it's gonna get rejected again. There's a huge volume comes in these 3 days, and it acts as a support. Now you're watching, second part is you're watching this trend line. Is it gonna get broken out or not? I was talking about the stock, and I said once I saw that breakout candle here, I was watching this low, that breakout candle, as a sign of weakness. So I was expecting it to come back lower, but look at the volume. It was really low here on the pullback, and then it did held that 65, and it did eventually act as a support, and we tested that trend line, and from there you will know that 65 is no longer acting as a resistance, but it's acting as a support, and that's what you want to see. And then from there, so here will be like a cheat sheet area, especially here on these days. So your stop loss will be right below that breakout candle, and from there we just ripped higher. We tested the high. That's why I say always look at the left. We put that reversal candle right in here because we tested the high here. That's why I say sometimes when I initiate a position here in this area, I'll take some profit along the way when I'm coming up here, because I always look at to the left and see what resistance do we have. So yeah, so for me, eBay right now, I would watch it to consolidate right below this resistance. So might take some time, but yeah. So that was my example actually on that 65. I hope it's clear. So it's just a matter of either below the line. So when the price action is below the 65, it will act as a resistance, and you want to wait for it until the price action started to close above it, and then give it some more time to see if it proves itself, if it's going to act as a support or not. I hope that helped. Give it a thumbs up if it does make sense to you. I hope, if not, I'll explain it on more later videos. Support the channel, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're first time watching the videos, and see you next time. Bye.